Morning, drivers. Welcome back to Horsepower TV, brought to you by Rafter C Livestock Transportation and the Cattle Rolling Crew. I appreciate them putting me on their websites and helping me get my messages out. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about loading your truck. This is for anybody and everybody, because no matter how long you've been doing it, sometimes things just don't work the way you want them to. And those of us who have been doing this for a while know that. When you're loading your truck, like I got a little cheater book that tells me my head count and how many head I can put in a particular compartment. If they say 48 head, I flip it up to the page where it says 48 head. I know how to load them, and 999 times out of 1,000 that works, because it's all based on weights. If you got 48,000 pounds, you got 48 head. You know how to put them on your trailer. Every once in a while, you'll get a group of cattle that maybe don't always get along, or whatever the case may be. For instance, the other day I loaded a load of dairy cows, and I had like 3 of them in the belly that didn't want to be crowded, didn't want to be pushed. They ganged up, pushed everybody to the back of the belly, and the ones in the back were getting laden down and stomped on. And so I had a long ways to go. So what I did is I called ahead to one of the sale barns that I've dealt with frequently, and the guys were there. So I whipped in there, we offloaded most of the trailer, turned around and reloaded it real quick. Took me about 45 minutes. Put them on in a little bit different load count, or a little bit different I can't think of the word I'm looking for. A little different scenario. Anyway, we put them back on the trailer in different positions, and worked fine. I went the rest of the trip and never had a single cow lay down. Everybody walked off all happy, and it was all good. Had I not done that, I would have probably lost 1 or 2. Not that they were too tight to begin with, but they weren't getting along. They were, like I said, some cows, every once in a while you'll get that. You'll get cows with funny attitudes, funny personalities. Most of the time it all works. So just be aware of that you can do that. You can stop. Don't be too proud. Don't, to say that you either made a mistake or maybe the numbers you're using just aren't working today. So be sure, and when you first load your load, stop within the first hour and see what they look like. First couple hours, check them. I don't care if they're calves, dairy cows, what they are. You always want to stop and check them a couple times, especially in the beginning of your trip. If everybody's riding all right and everybody's looking good and getting along, then you'll be all right to go for several hours and stop again, especially on the calves. Now, if you got, say you got butcher cows, maybe they're a little weak or something, you might want to stop and check them every 3 hours, every few hours, to make sure they're all standing up and getting along, nobody's laying down and getting stepped on. It's just as caretakers of your load, of the cattle that are on your truck, that's kind of your responsibility, to stop and make sure that everybody's being good. And they're all getting along, everybody's standing up, and everybody's paneling when they need to be paneled, and so on. Those are things that you need to keep in mind as far as when you're loading your truck. And another thing, guys, when you are helping someone load their truck, be sure they know you're going to help them, and ask or whatever. Don't just stand there on the side of the truck or hot shot them when they're not needing to be. You don't need to hot shot every head that comes on the trailer. They just get wound up, and if a guy's inside trying to work with them and he's in a confined space, the last thing he needs is those cattle to become any more wound up than they already are, because you're putting them in a small confined area that maybe they don't really want to be in. So you need to be careful when you're helping that guy, that you're really helping him and not causing any more issues. And the same thing for offloading. Make sure that if he's in there trying to maybe push him around or do something, don't just walk up and start hot shotting him or yelling at him or banging on the trailer until you've talked to him and you know where he's at. Because if you are on the wrong side of the trailer as opposed to where he's at in the trailer, and you get them cattle to turn, they may turn right around on top of him. So always be aware of what is going on inside the trailer with the guy that's loading or offloading, and make sure he knows that you're going to help him, because sometimes it can be worse than not doing anything at all. You just kind of got to know how to read the cows, and especially know what the guy in the trailer is needing or is doing, so that you can help him if that's what you're going to do. Because you get to a lot of feedlots, a lot of places, when you're offloading them especially, they don't want you using hot shots or prods. You can use your paddles or your flags or whatever, and so then you may be crawling up on the side of the trailer, beating them on the head or doing whatever you want to do. Like I said, be sure the guy in the trailer knows what you're doing, and you know what he's doing, so that you can work together. Otherwise, it can be dangerous for the guy inside the trailer. It's just not a good idea just to walk up and start beating on the trailer and thinking you're helping him when you're not. So keep those kind of things in mind when you're loading your truck and unloading your truck. Don't be so proud that you can't ask for help, or that you don't want to stop and take the 45 minutes or an hour it's going to take to rearrange your load. Sometimes that just happens. It's just the nature of the beast. It's all about taking care of the critters on the trailer, and not because you don't want to stop and get out in the cold, or you just don't want to take the time to stop, or whatever. You gotta keep in mind what's going on in that back there, and there's more to it than just pushing them on there and hauling ass. You don't want them hurting each other or hurting themselves or whatever. I mean, it's just be aware of what's going on in your trailer, and check your loads, and use the procedures accordingly. Like I said, don't be hot shotting them any more than you necessarily have to. Just keep them moving, keep them calm. When you get in those tight confined areas, sometimes you can get them cattle that, like I said, they don't want to be on the trailer anyway, and they'll turn on you in a heartbeat if you ain't careful. So just watch yourselves, and be careful, and that's pretty much it. Just always keep in mind what you're trying to do, what you want them to do, and then react to them accordingly, because that's what they're going to do, is react to you. So anyway, you guys be safe out there. Have a good week, and we'll talk to you next week. This is Horsepower signing out.